So the purpose of this video is to show you how to log on to the ACCA practice platform. So the first thing we've got to be careful about is that we're using Chrome as our browser. And the next thing we need to check is that Chrome is fully updated. So we're going to go here and we're going to check whether it's fully updated, and it says here Google Chrome is up to date, so that's fine. The next thing we're going to check is that we haven't got any extensions operating. Now in this case we have got an extension operating in Chrome because we've got this little jigsaw icon up in the top right hand corner. So we're going to click on that and we're going to manage extensions, and we're going to scroll down until we can see an extension which is currently on, and we can then switch that off, and we can now see that the jigsaw icon has disappeared. So we can now close that window, open a new window, close the settings, and we've got a clean, up-to-date version of Chrome operating. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug in the URL for the ACCA site. You can actually add FMA training on the end, but it's not actually going to make a great deal of difference whether you've got that there or not. And that's going to take us to a login screen, and it's going to ask us for a password, and when you click next it's going to take you to the next screen. We're going to choose FME training as the learning provider, and that's going to then ask us to sign in to my ACCA. So we put in our username and your ACCA password, and we sign in to my ACCA, and that takes us to TestReach. Now if you've got some assigned material, that assigned material will show up here. This screen shows two areas where you have assigned material. One is SBR and the other is SBL. So if you click on either of these two areas, you'll be taken to the next screen. I clicked on SBR, so as you can see we have three different pieces of assigned material. The first of these, Ho, is an example of a timed piece of homework where we've started the clock running, but we've then exited the material and we're still in a position to resume it, but we're running out of time fast. That's not to be recommended. The second example is Zoomer, which is untimed, where we can choose to start again if we wish. And the third example, the 21B SBR end of tuition mock exam, is the sort of thing you're most likely to see where there's a start button showing. Now it's important that you do not press that start button unless and until you're ready to commence your timed practice exam, because as soon as that button is clicked, the clock is going to start ticking, and even if you exit the exam, that will continue to be the case. So please don't press start until you're ready to commence. So what happens if you do press start? Well, you'll be presented with a series of introductory screenshots, which we'll quickly run through in this video, but which you should have a JPG example of in your course. Or alternatively, you can pause the video and read the contents of each page here. Notice that you have to scroll down to the bottom of each of these screens in order to be able to press the next button to get to the next screen. You may also need to scroll across if you've got a small screen. Eventually, you'll press next and be presented with this ready to log in screen. Obviously, you need to press yes. Actually, the clock has been ticking all along, so whilst in the real exam, this is where the clock starts, in this practice exam, you really want to get to this screen as quickly as possible. That's one of the reasons we give you a little bit of extra time in these practice exams. So at the end of this video, you are now prepared to log into the ACCA CBE practice platform in the FME Learn Online area, and you know how to begin your exam and not to press that blue button too early. Thanks very much for listening.